It's more than cybersecurity. It's more about digital public goods. And if we look at the problems that we are trying to solve, let's start with some numbers. About 1 billion people in the world have no way of proving who they are. They don't have an ID. 1.4 billion people in the world don't have a financial services account, which prevents them from products like saving, credit, insurance, pension, and these are both very important for leading a full, peaceful and prosperous life. So we see digital public goods as a potential pathway to better lives, to create solutions that are more efficient, that can be reused, that can be adopted by countries and customized by countries to solve the problems that governments are facing today. For the same reason, for centuries, people have been investing in libraries, roads, bridges. So we have a good idea of what public goods are, but the world is going digital, and the conversation on digital public goods is just gaining momentum. And I do believe that this concept, which allows collaboration at a scale never seen before. So Upanzi in Swahili means planting a seed. So the Upanzi Digital Public Goods Network, I believe, will drive the students to lead the digital transformation of Africa, because I strongly believe that innovation for Africa has to come from Africa, and that is what these three engagements have actually progressively done. So the first time that we met in March, we all got together and decided, what are we going to do? So this investment was, okay, we have done the investment, we have decided digital public goods are something we want to work on, but what exactly? And the answer out of that engagement with CMU, its partners, government, development donors, was interoperability. We discovered that digital public goods are being created for different purposes and different functions by different entities, but they don't interoperate. So CMU committed to taking on the responsibility of figuring out what standards, protocols, technologies will be needed to get digital public goods to interoperate. We had the first West Africa conference on digital public goods and cybersecurity. Because I do want to come back to cybersecurity at some point. That conference brought the conversation to the mainstream. That's the time when we started asking questions on how will the digital public goods make lives better. And the cybersecurity element was, how are we going to address the risks of digital public goods? Not only digital public goods, but all digital technologies in general, because security, privacy, these are all very important considerations. And new technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning bring in the problems of bias. So as we learned from that conference, the idea of having a big convening on digital public goods, but now expand the tent to include healthcare, agriculture, finance, and bring all these teams together and open up a door for collaboration and co-creation that didn't exist before. And I think this conference has achieved that. There are many, so I will need to think for a second to see which one sticks the most in my mind. But I think one idea which I am now more convinced than ever before is that digital public goods allow choice. So for very long, solutions have been developed elsewhere that have been brought to Africa and applied in contexts for which they were never designed, and that has led to inefficiencies. I think by having digital public good solutions which are open source, which are interoperable, which allow people who are living in those countries to customize it to how they see fit, is a very important part of this growth story. And I think it will have a big impact on development. I would have one message on cybersecurity. We treat it almost like an abstract problem of some hacker wearing a hat and a t-shirt and hacking big computers. Cybersecurity is about people. We have seen ourselves, we went from entering PINs and passwords to now multi-factor authentication, to clicking on some number, verifying that you have the device and you are seeing a message. The digital world is becoming more and more complex, but it is impacting the lives of people. we are leaving behind millions who don't know what they're facing, the kind of technology that they're interacting with, what are the new risks. Like for example, privacy. We treat problems from a gender neutral lens. So a hack of a phone database is just numbers. The numbers are gender neutral, but when you have a name column and a number column, women may end up bearing a bigger risk of that hack. And I think an understanding of the issues that arise and the responsibility and care that must be taken in the deployment of digital technologies has to be about people. We cannot be technology first, people second. We have to be people first, technology second.